So what's up, everybody? This is your boy Jonathan back at it again. So wanted to talk about something in particular. Wanted to talk about the original, the original players or the original ladies' men, and why we don't hear anything about them, and what techniques they use. So I'm gonna tell you all of that. The difference between the original ladies' men and like the PUAs now is the original guys, everybody was unique, everybody came up with their own way, everybody figured it out, and everybody got good. They didn't listen to other people who was looking at it from their own perspective. Everybody looked at it from their own perspective and everybody was able to get it done. So there was no like format, you gotta do this, that, and the other. People just figured it out, right? So let me give you a little bit of a history lesson. There's always been ladies' men, and the reason we don't hear much about them and the reason why nobody writes books about them or those ladies' men didn't write down their techniques is simple. Back in the day, all you needed is a job and could support a woman. And you could walk around and talk to a lot of women, and if one of them was single and she heard you had their job, you're basically in the door. That's how it was back in the day. And also, women didn't have cell phones, and they didn't have men blowing up their phone every day, right? So that made it a lot easier to find a girlfriend. And it just made it a lot easier to find a girlfriend, and yeah, it was just easier. But so that's why they didn't write anything down. And then what happened was the crack cocaine epidemic happened. A lot of parents wasn't letting their kids go outside, and they wasn't letting them be social because you could get shot in a gang war, or you could end up on drugs or something. So a lot of people were just like sheltering their kids, buying them all these toys and video games so that they'd be distracted from what was going on. And what had happened is, one day, in the early 2000s, late 90s, a lot of those guys were fed up because they weren't getting women, and they didn't build up the skills because of years of neglect and isolation from women. And so some guys from Canada like Mystery and Owen Cook came down and said like, hey, we know how to get women. And that's when the whole pickup artist movement started from those Canadians, right? But there has always been ladies' men before that, and ladies' men during the crack cocaine epidemic. So I'm going to tell you the techniques that those early ladies' men did, and then you can use them or not, but it's just a suggestion. First of all, those ladies' men dressed up nice, and back in the day, there's always been a distinguish between a good-looking guy who's well off and a troublemaker. Right? And then later on in the 90s, like a lot of men dressed up for survival reasons. One, they can't get in the club if they're not dressed up. And two, somebody will think they're a gangster and shoot them if they dressed up. Right? But then, after the death of Tupac and Biggie, and Puff Daddy was like, stop all the violence, everybody can wear whatever they want, we can all wear hip-hop clothes. Streetwear exploded, and now nobody dresses up. And so that's the first thing, dressing up. Number two, right, is networking and trying to find a place to find girls, right? Nowadays, right, you click something into Google, and you're like, okay, the club starts at this time. Okay, so I can relax at the house, chill, watch a movie, eat something, play video games, and then an hour, maybe 2 hours before the club, get ready, hop on the subway and go, right? But you missed all these opportunities between when you get off work to when you get in the club. Back in the day, it wasn't like that because people didn't have Google, people couldn't look it up. So you had to actually join a social group and have big social groups like you see on shows like Friends, where people would talk, network, hey, I'm going to this party, or I know about this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And while trying to find your way to the party of the girls, you would actually be socializing and probably meet some girls. Same thing with back in the day, all the parties had flyers, and so you had to go places where the people were with the flyers. And sometimes the flyers weren't enough. the flyers would only tell map points to the place. So you would have to go to a college campus, find the promoter, buy the ticket, then he would tell you give you the flyer to where the address was or the map point. And so along the way of going to the college campus and finding a promoter, you would have had time to talk to all these girls. You would have had time to talk to all these other dudes, make connections, meet people, and done. You know what I'm saying? You know, we used to do that a lot in San Francisco. The promoters would be on campuses, or they would be hanging out at tourist attractions or whatever. Or like there would be entire strips of like shopping districts where in different record stores you would have the flyer. So you would go into little record stores, get your flyer, you know, talk to the little store clerk, talk to the lady walking her dog, talk to the girl sitting at the park on the way to the store to get the flyer, you know? And so on the journey to actually get the information about the club, you would have got to talk to all these other women. And now you can't do that. It's like straight to the club. And you miss a lot of opportunities, right? And the same thing with just like street game in general. Like people couldn't Google and make plans of which club they were going to. They had to, they had to actually go out and find a place. So a lot of times, right, we rely on Google and we're like, okay, we don't have to talk to any other girls because we have a plan for this weekend. It's done. Back in the day, you didn't have a plan for the weekend. So you had to run street game and mall game and club strip game because like there's no guarantee that you were going to find a party, and there's no guarantee that the party's going to be cracking. You know, you didn't have Yelp where you could see the how cool the party was and get reviews on it. You didn't have, meetup.com where they tell you how many people are going. You didn't have all that. So it's like there was no guarantee that you would find a party, let alone the party be good. So you had to resort to street game until it came to the party night, just in case. So you would have something just in case when the party came, it sucked. You would have had a bunch of numbers from street game. So that's number 2, just being able to network and connect. And then just the ability to figure it out. That's number 3. You see, back in the day, you didn't have Google. So you had to go out and talk to all these girls and figure it out. Figure out how to dress, figure out what you were doing right and wrong. And a lot of guys got really good because they had to go out and figure it out. So that's it. So that's the 3 things. If you want to go old school, that's the 3 ways you do it. You dress nice, you go and network, you talk to everybody, and you go to places where cool people are that may know where things are. And you don't rely on the club to meet the girls, but you go and, run around and do all this other stuff. So even if the club sucks, you can have some backup. And number 3, don't trust people online to tell you what to do and how to talk to girls. Talk to them, okay? Make a connection, figure it out. So those are the 3 lessons that you can learn from old school players and old school ladies, man. All right, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. All right, I'm out, y'all. Peace.